Okay. All right. So good morning, good evening, guys. So let's begin with today's session. So before we start, let me just give a very brief intro about myself. And I would like that our session goes in an interactive way rather than I simply going on. My name is Sangeetha, and I have more than 7 years of experience in the field of networking and security. And I've worked majorly with two vendor products like Palo Alto and Cisco's ASA FTD. These were the two major products that I have got great hands-on experience. So, and I've been doing the training with network journey since last 3 years. So I would want to know from your end, like anyone voluntarily can take initiative to know, to understand uh, what is your experience towards the field and your expectations in terms of the course or the session which we are going to begin. So it will be great if we can have some volunteers introducing themselves and having a small discussion on this.
Okay, I will
Yes.
start Sangeeta. My name is Asim Sharma. I'm based in Melbourne, Australia. I'm working with Telstra from last 4 years, totally networking for about 10 years now. And I work very closely with, I work as a security consultant in Telstra, so work very closely with Palo Altos, Cisco ESAs, FTDs, WSAs, and I've been working with them for some time, trying to learn some techniques for quick troubleshooting, which we normally get on day-to-day basis. So looking something on that kind of viewpoint.
All right. I think got it. So majorly, yeah, when we work with networking and security, we definitely undergo a lot of uh, issues, lot of things. So we should be understanding how to go with the basic troubleshooting and go start with diagnosing the issue and understanding what caused the problems. So yes, that's nice to know.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, may I have any other person who can go ahead? Yes, guys. I see there are so many people in who have joined.
Yeah, hi. Good morning. This is Jay Gansam Chaudhary from Bangalore, India.
Hi, Jay.
Uh, I'm the fresher, so I feel I want to learn some more technology and about the security policies like Palo Alto and other Cisco. So I want,
Okay.
so I'm interested to learn this kind of.
Okay. So, Jay, you have it. You do have an understanding about networking, right?
Yeah.
Great, great, great.
Thank,
Nice.
thank-
Yes, guys. We're just setting the stage to begin with so that I know where are we all from and what kind of background we have taken up. Yes, hi.
Hello. Myself Manish Giwala. I am
Hi,
working
Manish.
with the Aramco in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
I am working with the Sonicol firewall from last 10 years approximately and
Mm-hmm.
managing it with the means configuration and which are the troubleshooting is to be there and backups and firewall upgradation is also be there.
Mm-hmm.
The basic question is somehow whenever I try to give the interview for my self upgradation or new jobs, at the time they
Mm-hmm.
are asking that whether you know the other firewalls, how the output is to be there, how they perform on those scenarios. Actually, I don't have any experience with other firewall. So unable
Okay.
to give the answer like how FortiGate is to be there, how checkpoint is to be there, which are the differences to be you see in other different firewalls. So only for
Mm.
that reason, suppose this one is the 5-in-1 combination. So whenever we go for the interview, then I can able to give the answer that yeah, I know that this firewall have this speciality, this firewall has this speciality. Only for that reason, I think that this one is the good course for the upgrading yourself. And nowadays, everyone is asking that you know the checkpoint firewall or not. You know the FortiGate fire means each and every company has different requirements basically. The function of the each firewall is almost nearly same, but the front end is mostly different. So whenever if I don't have the experience with the other firewall, then I can't able to give the proper answer for the same.
Excellent,
And
Manish. So here we are for the same. So I
okay,
understand
okay,
your perspective, and that's what the problem with most of the people when we are in this domain. Definitely, it's a complete way of evolving yourself from wherever you are in to learn multiple things. And majorly when it comes to the firewall, we have in the market trends, as per the market trend, when we see, we have these 5-in-1, the course which we have bundled. These are the vendors who are predominantly, they're dominating the market. And when you apply for any kind of jobs on this role for firewall administrator or firewall as a TAC engineer or as a simple software engineer, even on those ends, they definitely look into the for the kind of experience the candidates can bring into with multiple vendors, so that it helps them, because it's not like any company would only buy a specific vendor firewall. They can go with the multitude of different vendor firewall as per the needs, the requirements, the design. A lot of aspects are there. So it helps them to, have candidates who are having an experience and hands-on on different vendor products. So it's really appreciative that you have taken up this journey towards your learning and joining with us. Great, great, Manish, to know this thing from you. And I guess many of us would have taken up this, uh, initiative to join and start our journey to learn about the network security with different firewalls. Great. Yeah. Anyone else who wants to add up to this?
Sangeetha, this is Murali speaking.
Hi, Madhu.
I'm an IT generalist, so I've done networking also on the systems engineer side and worked with lots of products. My question to you is with regards to the agenda for today and tomorrow, because these two are the demo classes. And
Right.
in terms of lab access and so on, what is your idea?
Great. Great question. So that I will be addressing it. Just give me 2 minutes. So that I'm just trying to first gauge with the audience that I have, and definitely I'll go through the things that you have asked for. Yeah. So meanwhile, anytime, guys, feel free to ask queries until and unless when we start the session full through the demo, which we are going to go ahead with. There maybe I will ask you to pause for a while and understand, and then we will have a question answer session. So as Murli has asked, and let me just first introduce you towards the agenda. So we all have understood that this is a course which is going to be a bundled course in firewall, 5-in-1, and I would be majorly engaged in taking up two of these firewalls. One is the Palo Alto, and the other one is the Cisco's ASA FTD. So if you go to our website and you can just check out the upcoming batches, which we are coming when we have planned for. And today and tomorrow we have a demo. So today we will be discussing on Palo, how we go and set up, the basic firewall with Palo Alto, and some key terminologies and understanding between, what are what is a router and a firewall, what is the difference between them. We'll see the demo on how can we, set up a small lab with the Palo Alto firewall. So we will be going with a little basic today, as well as some sort of, I will just give you a glance of how the firewall GUI looks like, and what all things you can go and check. A brief, overall overview of the Palo thing. And in tomorrow's session, we will be discussing on the Cisco's ASA and FTD side, where again we will be going in, because since I will be covering little basics today about the firewall, so tomorrow I won't go and repeat the same thing on what is a firewall or why do we need a firewall, etc. Because as we all have a very basic understanding that though we are going to learn 5 different types of firewalls of different vendors, the concept will not going to, it's not going to change that, okay, Palo Alto defines firewall in a different way and Cisco defines firewall in a different way. It's not that way. Definitely, they are different in terms of the architecture, what kind of architecture they have designed for, that is what the difference in their way of working, the way of the performance, what they give, the kind of security features they provide. So it's not like, okay, we are not going to say that VPN is not going to be there. It's going to be in Palo and it's not going to be on FTD. So there will be key security concepts, as one of you, Manish, had discussed in between, that yes, he has learned, he has an understanding of one of the firewalls, but what difference it makes is the architecture, the features they offer. And we are going to explore all those possibilities that particular firewall is going to go forward, as well as the kind of benefits you would have if you are going through this course. Then what is therein for me, because it is not something which we are going to cover a extremely advanced point of view. You can simply say from basic to intermediate level, which will help you for your interviews, which will help you for some of your certifications. Like in Palo, we will see that you can go and attempt for a PCNSA. Like in networking, you begin with CCNA and CCNP. PCNSA is an intermediate level of certification which is offered. So those were the modules which we will keep in mind while we will explore or learn this in future batches when we will start thoroughly. So this is about the agenda for today. Today we are learning about Palo and see some lab. And tomorrow we will be going with Cisco's ASA and FTD. Okay. And to show you the syllabus or the modules, what we have it. So we have a page here. So this is the schedule for this year. As every firewall will take roughly a month or 45 days to complete the modules that we have planned. So the objective is not only just to give you the knowledge, but somehow help you with, if you have plans to take up some certifications or you have plans to go up for some interviews. So that should help you out. That is what is our belief, that you should thoroughly understand the concepts well and make the best of your utilization. So we have created several topologies as well for practice, like Palo Alto's topology we will give you the opportunity that you use those topologies and practice. So that is what the things we have. And here is the curriculum for each of those firewalls which you will be learning. Since today we will be going with Palo Alto, but so there are totally 6 modules, and you can just go and have a look into what all things we have here. We will learn what is a next generation firewall, what are the different interfaces types that the firewall has. And in the next module, you will see some concepts on, NAT, PAT, the virtual routing, the zone concepts, especially NATing is the major focus here. Okay. And then we have all the policies, because it plays a very important role. As we say, firewall is simply nothing but a set of policies or different aspect. So what are those different types of policies we have? Okay, I will be showing you the GUI, so that would be very interesting then to see this, words and all, theory things. And app ID, user ID. I know it may sound like Greek and Latin for people who are just joined as a fresher, but please don't worry at all. I'm just giving you a gist of, what all things we have in every module. There are a lot to learn. There are a lot to learn. You just cannot, just looking at the modules, just don't get, overwhelmed that there are so many things. Definitely, there are a lot of new terms which we will come across for those who are really new, but we will go from those levels as well. So the objective is not just to, the course objective which we will be taking up, as I will be taking up, is that if somebody who has a basic networking knowledge, so at least I expect that you know what is a VLAN, you know what is a basic routing, static routing, OSPF, some basic understanding, because we won't be able to go to that level of, where I would be able to teach you how to, what is a VLAN or what is a router, etc. What is a routing and all those things. Our focus is to learn about firewall, to know what is Palo Alto firewall, how is it different, and what are things you can do with this firewall, how that can help you in your job. So that's a very rigorous curriculum which we have, and we have tried to follow as per the norms. In the sense, if you go through some PCNSA study guides, or if you have, I guess I may have here for your reference, I had downloaded this. So if you just go through, so this is not something which we are going to say that we have closely developed those modules, keeping in mind the PCNSA things have the topics what they have. So that becomes your point of relevance, that you are learning something sensible and that can be helpful. Okay. So any doubts here so far, guys? Are we clear today, like what we are going to do? I have not started yet. I've just given you a very, very brief intro on what are we going to do today. And so this is the blueprint which is available online. You can go and have a look. And I have shown you the syllabus, what we are going to cover. So in today's demo, we will just understand what is a firewall and how is it different from a router, and some good demo on, we'll set up a small lab and see things there. Are we good with this so far, guys?
Yep.
Yep, Sangeetha, all good.
All right, great. So, and what are the things which you will be getting in after you enroll for the course? Definitely a lot of things you have. Access to the topology, the rack, complete lab which we have developed. We have got good workbooks. So when you start, you can get access to those, workbooks to simply, you should not be facing any difficulties when you begin with. So we have created several labs. On first that we have the documentation available so that you can follow and try to do it first by yourself. And we do have notes kind of a section where you can go and learn about those topics in simple words and understand what they are. So you will get access to all the topologies related to what we have created and the workbooks, and you can create your own topologies as well. So these are all the key benefits which you will get when you will enroll for the course. So before without doing much of a delay, we'll begin with our session. Okay,
Sangeetha, one more question. How long is the course going to be for?
Since it's a 5-in-1 firewall, right? I believe it's up to you if you're enrolling for all the 5, or if you're enrolling even for 1 or 2 specific vendors, each of these will take a minimum of like, 45 days, 30 to 45
Okay.
days. Or in terms of hours, if you say it, we have like the depth in which we have, like, for example, in Palo, we are not covering, I believe people, please don't try to make any of the diagrams there. This is for me to go ahead. So for Palo Alto things, since our target is to give you a knowledge up to PCNSA level, so it won't take more of our time because roughly you can say 45 hours, 35 to 45 hours.
Okay. Thanks.
Level of knowledge. Then
And these
ASA FTD will
classes,
take
are
its
these going to
own
be
time.
like weekends only, or for all those, if we go with 5-in-1?
FTD, we will go a little advanced in terms of, so that you can target all your CCNP security with, specialization in next generation firewall or VPN in that manner. So roughly 35 to 45 hours per, you can consider in that manner for every firewall.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Sangeetha.
So yes, guys. So before I ask, yeah, Jay, you're asking something?
Sangeetha, what version of panels would you be covering?
Currently, we are working on Panos version 10. Definitely, we have different versions, 11 and, but there will not be much of a difference when you will access even the higher versions, because the basic functionalities of creating policies, creating different types of, rules, they all will remain the same. I guess many of you are trying to write something here and there, playing with the whiteboard, so I should stop sharing the whiteboard, maybe. So yeah, it would be currently on PanOS version 10.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let me just stop sharing here and take up another way of doing it. Okay. So let me come back to my paint because there's a lot of things happening that side. So anyone who would want to go ahead and define what's the firewall? Anyone, guys? Give any kind of, whatever you know, you can just go ahead.
A firewall is a network device designed to protect your network from bad actors. It is designed to inspect the data coming in as well as data coming out of your network.
Perfect. I think we don't need any more greater definition. This is a perfect definition on what you have mentioned. So something which is trying to protect your network. So this is, we are talking on the side of network security, right? So as you mentioned, we are protecting our network from all sort of malicious things, malicious activity happening in the network from any of the direction. Okay. So generally, guys, what we have is when we take up any enterprise, we have our network, which we consider our local area network. And definitely we know that we are connected towards internet as well. And there can be different topologies which we can start making, but let's say this is the basic one. So we have a LAN network and we do need internet access for various purposes. So we need that these network, which is built by the enterprise, by any company, because there are a lot of resources that are lying inside the network. We want to protect those all resources. That can be a individual computer or something. It could be a server. It could be any application, it could be any softwares, it can be any not network device, anything. So we want to protect all our resources from any kind of, malicious activity that can happen from any direction. So the firewall is generally the one which sits at the perimeter of the network. So I can say that, okay, you're going to place your firewall at the edge. Here comes your firewall, which is sitting on the side to protect and to try to see what all things are going from LAN network to our internet or from internet to LAN. So the direction from either ways, and we are not saying that people who are inside my network are all good. Okay, they can't play any bad malicious activities, they can't do anything. It's not like that. We do want to also monitor the kind of activity happening inside my network also. So the direction could be anywhere, any point. It is up to the administrator who knows how to define those rules, from where to where he gives what kind of access and what kind of protection. So it's just a way of protecting your network from all sort of bad activities performed by bad actors in either of the direction. It's not like always we say that something from internet is going to be bad and everything on LAN side is all safe and secure. So we are saying that firewall should be able to monitor, should be able to understand the traffic and take a decision accordingly to whether to allow such traffic or to block such traffic. So it's all the point of, game of defining policies. Majorly, we can say that it's a game of defining security policies. There are different policies, but majorly security policy plays a very, very important role. Because here is the one where, as an administrator of the one you're managing the firewall, you get an opportunity to decide, as per the design of your network, that what kind of rules I need to create. And after creating those rules, how should I place them? So, giving you an example, let's say if you're living in, you're currently staying in an apartment. We all have the security guards who are placed. So we see that generally when people from the inside apartment, if they want to move outside, the security guard should mostly not question. He doesn't question anyone. Why are you going out? Or what for what work you're going out? But it becomes important for him to work or perform his duties well if somebody is visiting from outside, and to inspect and to understand who is that guy, whether to allow that guy or not. So same way when we're talking from firewall perspective, generally, if anything from in to out, from this direction, so you're inside, we are saying, and we are referring this as outside. See, these are the terms which you can give any name. I'm giving in and out for our reference, but you can give it any name. Generally for
Ingress and
Cisco,
egress.
yes, you can give any name. I'm not particular with the specific, term. You can give any name. Somebody can say A to B or C to D. That is up to us. What we define this side on this interface. So here we will be talking about the firewall interfaces as well. So anything when we are defining from in to out, we would simply say that, okay, by default, there would not be much of thing which we should be blocking. But yes, when you are working as an enterprise, in a company, you will be definitely blocked for accessing all those websites which are not supposed to be, all those abusive websites or any other websites. So the company is going to make a call on what all websites my employees should be able to access. Okay, what kind of policies I need to configure for that. So it's not like everyone from inside and is allowed to go outside anywhere they want. We as an administrator would definitely define what all things are suitable for our company policies as per the policies, and we will define the policies. At the same time, if anyone is trying to reach out to me, then how I should be responding? Because there could be genuine requests coming to my firewall. If somebody is working from home, trying to access the resources which are there in my office network, joining via VPN has to be given the access. But if somebody is simply targeting my device with unnecessary requests, like, we say flooding, ICMP flooding, kind of, putting up unnecessary request which is not meant to be and trying to block my device, trying to make my device down, how should I respond to those kind of requests? So the traffic has to be going multiple directions. As of now, I've taken up only 2 directions, in and out. There could be some more directions where you may place some of your critical resources, to isolate it from your in-network. Maybe you may create another direction or an interface where you will place some critical resources where normally we say it as DMZ, demilitarized zone. Don't worry if you don't know this term. Okay. So any direction when the traffic wants to move, we can define the policies and the firewall is supposed to act accordingly. Okay. That is what the basic role of a firewall is, that we will be defining all the policies, will place the policies in a proper position, in a proper manner, because that positioning also would matter. That simply creating rules will not make sense. You need to define the positioning where I need to place this, whether I should be, since you will define multiple policies, there could be thousands, 10,000s of policies you may have in your firewall. And how do you position? Which one should be in position number 1, position number 2, 3, 4? You need to make a wise choice there, so that you don't try to do things where, suppose let's say you have allowed something at the top and in the below you are trying to deny something specific. So all these things we will see when I will show you the GUI part. So I just have one query from you all. Why is, like, we used to do this kind of, policy control and everything with routers also. So how is this different from a router? Like, these are the two general, this is one of the very, very important questions asked in the interviews as well, that how is router different from a firewall? I can create policies on router as well. Like, if you have learned access control policies, guys, access control list. In routers, we can define access control list and we can control the traffic going from any direction. So why do you think we need a firewall?
There is a firewall is the advanced version of the router. I can say that we cannot create a DMZ zone. First thing, suppose it is required of the any organization. Second thing is DMZ IDS IPS technology. There is a lot of features which is available. Different users we can able to create different policies. That may be not possible in the firewall. That may be not possible in the any routers. Second thing is firewall have a different ports which is available. Limited port is available in the router rather than in the firewall. So there is a lot of difference in the both things. So we can consider is firewall is the advanced version of the router or replacement of the router.
Okay. Somewhat I can say you are right.
We have to
Right.
we have to inspect a packet, right? So
Right.
firewall has the capability to inspect and to filter what needs to be allowed or denied.
But even a router, if you say so, I can define a policy where I can say that, okay, deny IP, specific IP, visiting, specific destination. I can go and define. I can deny the protocols that are TCP, that are ICMP. I can go and deny, allow. I can make those policies like. So basically in firewall also, you're going to say that way only, that let's say host X wants to visit destination network Y, then allow him. But if host Z is trying to visit the same destination, then deny him. So basically, you're creating rules only. Even in firewall, you're creating rules, and on router also you're creating rules. So I agree to one of the point. Okay, what Manish, I guess Manish, right, who said that point initially before this. So I agree to the point where you said that okay, it has some advanced features of intrusion detection and prevention, and some more advanced things which router may not have. But there is something very, very basics which the router does
Port,
and
port
or the
number,
router.
Sangeetha.
Sorry,
Port,
I can define port numbers like what port numbers you're trying to mention here. Can I know?
the basic uh, in terms of routing, ports are not uh, much used to define ACL or something like that. But in firewall, the ports are a basic thing
Okay. But
for
the custom
creating
port,
any rule or policy. The ports number is very basic: source, destination, and ports number.
even with router, we can mention which source port and destination port we are trying to define and then to allow. See, most of the port numbers are well-known port numbers, like when we go for HTTP, Telnet, SSH, FTP, SMTP, we have all these things which the router can as well take care. That I want to block somebody going to port number 80 or port number 22. Somebody should not be able to SSH or Telnet. So I do have control when we use extended access control list. We can define the IPs, we can define the port numbers, we can define the protocols. I mean, all these things are there even with router. So whatever you're trying to say, the traffic policies which we are trying to address here, the rules which we are defining, I believe that all of us know the OSI model that we have L2, L3, L4, right? So you are trying to say the source port, destination port, which is a part of L4. Source IP, destination IP as a part of L3.
Yep.
So we can inspect up to L3, L4 level.
But not 7, not 6.
Okay. So that is one of the difference that and that is a part of next generation firewall. Basically, when we will be learning that, we will see that we want to inspect up to the application layer. Because we don't know that if somebody is trying to access from one, if you're just inspecting up to L3 or L4 level, we may not know if somebody is carrying a virus in their, traffic itself, because we are not inspecting that amount of things. So that's a different point altogether. It's a part of a next generation firewall. And all the firewalls which we will be learning in this 5-in-1 combo, it's all next generation firewall. So I will discuss next generation firewall altogether in a different point of time. But here, I am expecting very, very basic, answer from all of you, and which even the interviewer will also expect it from you guys. You have got policies in routers, you have got policies in firewall as well. You can do a lot of advanced things in firewall, agree, but there is a very basic thing which, the router fails to do. If you people are aware or have come across the term stateful and stateless. Have you come across the term stateful, stateless, guys? Anytime?
Yes, I know. Yep.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yes.
What is a stateful concept?
It maintains a connection table.
Exactly. It maintains the connection table. So when we know that majority of the traffic, 80 to 90%, is something which relies on TCP. Okay. We know we have a TCP handshake, the TCP SYN, then what is the next handshake, guys? We have the TCP SYN going up. Then what do we have? TCP?
SYNAC.
SYNAC. Very good. And then we have
ACK.
ACK.
Correct. So basically, when we say stateful, our firewall could be stateful as well as stateless too. But our router is purely stateless. Okay. So that means whoever is going, like let's say TCP SYN has gone from inside to outside. What is my expectation next? That the SYNAC should be allowed. Am I right or no? Correct? I should not be explicitly defining a policy that, okay, TCP SYN has gone to SYNAC, for that I have to write a policy. If I'm using a stateful firewall, I would have the firewall keeping the information that, okay, this SYN has gone from in to out. There is an SYNAC which will be coming and I need to allow it. If it is matching all the details, because we will have sequence numbers, we will have these flags, which we are talking currently, these are all TCP flags, SYN, SYNAC, ACK. So my firewall, when it becomes stateful, it keeps a track of all of these TCP flags, the TCP sequence numbers, and allow the connection accordingly. That is considered to be stateful. Stateless being in a manner that I am not knowing what is this flags, I am just taking a control on the traffic based on the policies. Just allow, deny. Whatever policies I have created and wherever direction I have mentioned, whatever into, out, into DMZ, whatever, my router is going to purely act in that manner. Based on whatever policy you have defined, it is just going to control the traffic. It is not going to see if SYN has gone, then expected SYNAC should be allowed or direct, obviously, like implicitly. It will see, okay, SYNAC is coming from which direction? Is there any policy for it? If there is no policy, then I would not allow, or by default policy which routers keep is implicit deny. If you all know, there is an implicit deny policy if you have not defined anything. So that's one of the major differences between a router and a firewall. The firewall could be stateful as well as stateless, but more or less our router is purely stateless. It just controls the traffic based on the policies. It does not know about the handshake mechanism, anything like that.
So there is no implicit policy on the firewall, right?
There is, it depends on the vendor, correct? Now, in terms of, if you talk, there will be some implicit rules which will be predefined in vendors like Palo Alto. They will say that, okay, if you're moving anything from your own network, within your network, if you are talking, let's say, let me just draw the diagram here. So it depends on firewall to firewall. There could be implicit, rules as well. So in router, definitely we have an implicit deny. If you don't do anything, if you just say that allow host X to destination Y, then apart from this, if you don't do anything, you don't write any policy, there will be an implicit deny. So that means only one thing will be allowed. Rest all things which are moving from anywhere in those directions will be denied. Okay. When it comes to firewall, it all comes across. There are different concepts which we'll be learning in terms of zones. So whenever we create a firewall, we have multiple interfaces that can be a part of different zones. Where namely what we do is we consider a local area network to be a part of inside network or inside zone. Our internet to be a part of outside zone. And a set of different servers like your company servers, which could be your DNS server, DHCP server, mail servers, and etc., a part of DMZ zone. So what firewall, depending on your vendor, okay. So inside to outside, for some firewalls, they will be like, okay, that is fine. People can go from inside to outside, there is no issue. I don't need to go and define any rule for it. But if something is coming from outside to inside or any other direction to inside, simply block. Like you can make now, since there are 3 different interfaces or 3 different zones, I can make a combination. Whether inside to inside, everyone will be allowed. Yes. Inside to outside, is everyone allowed? Yes. Outside to inside, is anyone allowed? No. DMZ side to outside, is it allowed? I can define for that. Outside to somebody can access DMZ? No. By default, no. If anything is coming from outside to any of our DMZ inside, it's no. So there could be some default things which are there as per the vendors defined. But majorly anything coming from outside, anything coming from outside to in will be always blocked. Or interzone, you can say. Interzone will be a correct word. That if something you are doing interzone from out to in to out, or DMZ to in, DMZ to out, by default we can block all of them until and unless you explicitly define, that okay, I want my X user working inside to go and visit the DMZ servers or to go and visit a specific website. So I can have complete control when I am defining on firewall. Okay, so that's what in firewall, we have different types of firewalls: stateful, stateless, next generation firewall, application layer firewalls, packet filter firewalls. There are multiple variations in this. And all these vendor products which we will be learning, it is all next generation firewall. Okay, it's all a next generation firewall. And why is it called next generation? We will take up maybe in tomorrow's session. So I hope the basic difference is understood, guys. Stateful and stateless. Are we good with this? Like any doubts you guys have?
So does that mean that the firewall can act as both stateful and stateless, while the router is basically stateless?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And it makes more sense to go with the stateful concept rather than like we do have stateless. We used to use those firewalls long time back. In legacy firewalls, we can say those things. But currently, if you ask me, all these firewalls which we are learning, they are all stateful itself. Okay.
You mean
also,
the next gen firewalls, right?
Yes, yes, yes. All our next generation firewalls are stateful. So it will keep a track of all the sessions, and accordingly it will take up, it will track the session. Okay, session TCP SYN has gone, SYNAC is expected. This is the sequence number expected for the SYNAC. And if it is so, then I will allow. Because definitely anyone can play from out, but our firewall is completely maintaining a session table with all the information of the source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, protocol number, whatever headers we have in IP header, TCP header. So it maintains a TCP connection table, session table, and accordingly it tracks the traffic going from the direction in towards out and vice versa.
That is why we use TCP dump any that to check whether handshake is happening successfully or not.
Yes, you can use TCP dump, you can use packet captures, because in advance, all these firewalls which I will be showing you right now, let me just show up the screen and take you towards the lab side. So those all firewalls have some inbuilt these features of, accessing through packet captures as well, because TCP dumps becomes difficult to interpret and read. So we do have packet captures to help us understand the traffic flow. Is my screen visible?
Yeah. In general, if someone asks, like for example, if someone asks you, what would be the firewall doing? What does the firewall do in general? What would you like elaborate in general?
The role of a firewall completely depends. The role of a firewall is to protect your network, and there are completely different features which helps the firewall to investigate the traffic. Okay. Now, when we talk in terms of, we are not just given means we are protecting the network by defining all the policies which we have. Okay, there are different policies. Security policies play a very, very major role. Okay, but apart from that, if you ask me, the current next generation firewall which we are using, it has so many advanced capabilities that I can now define policy on basis of the user. That I don't want to allow these ex-user entering into my network. This feature was not there before. For example, I'm an attacker. Okay, I'm an attacker, and initially there was like a feature where I can know that I can define policies based on the IP addresses that, okay, block this IP. But I know that the activity of this hacker is very, very, smart. He can then take up another device and take up another IP, and he can still put up the malicious traffic. So blocking the IP was not a defined, very good solution that, okay, just block the IP or just block the MAC address, you know, or just block a specific kind of a thing. So we got an advanced capability that, okay, now I have the way of recognizing that this is the user, because if he is an user coming up from my network, okay, inside network, so I can understand, or even if he's accessing my inside network through VPN or somewhere, somewhat like that, I can identify this user. I can make a policy that, okay, don't allow this user coming from so and so, trying to access so and so resources. So much of advanced capabilities we are having in next generation firewalls that it is just going to be simple. It's not going to be easy to just say that we are protecting or controlling in simple way. I can say, okay, we are controlling the direction of traffic. We are controlling the traffic. We are trying to go deep dive, inspect the traffic. We are trying to identify the users and then define the policy. So there are multiple ways of, defining the firewall now. It is not that simple currently to define a firewall, because initially, okay, we used to just make decision on the basis of block the IP, block the port. If so and so port comes blocked, so and so protocol comes blocked. But we are now doing more than that. That makes next generation firewall, special. Let me just show you the GUI first, so that you get an understanding.
Is
So
analyzer
sorry?
Analyzer available during the day? Analyzer or analytics is available? Analyzer or analytics is available?
What kind of analytics do you mean to say?
So means day-to-day activity, which are the activities users are.
Yes. You can have all those logs, you can have reports, you can have a dashboard saying that what are the major applications running in your network, what kind of activities was going on. Let me just expand this. Yeah, is it visible?
Yes.
Guys, is the GUI okay? So this is a Palo Alto GUI. I'm directly showing you how to set up this. Definitely will understand that. But let me just show you the GUI first, so that you get to know what all things we have here. It's way, way interesting, guys. And Palo Alto is really like Fortinet, Cisco's. These, if you go and see, that they stand out in the market because of the ease of configuration, the way they have created the GUI. Okay, it's taking some time to load. Okay, so meanwhile this gets open, I'll just show you this topology which I have created. some glitch in the network. Now I can have a look. Sorry guys, there's some glitch. It's taking a little time to load. Finally. Okay, let me just stop and start sharing again. Maybe there is some issue in sharing the screen. It's generally not that slow, but maybe today my internet speed is kind of. No, I guess I can share. Yes, yes. Here is the topology first. Let's go to the topology. So we have a firewall, Ethernet 1/1, 1/2. It's a normal interface. So 1/1, we have considered that it is on the inside network, and there is a Windows split system sitting here. I have a management PC via which I am able to control or take access to my Palo Alto firewall. And on this side, we are considering we are having an outside network. So very simple network inside and outside. As of now, there is no DMZ as well. And this management PC is useful for accessing our system, the firewall. Management plane, data plane, all those concepts will come where we will understand what is management plane, what all things the management plane is supposed to do and the data plane is supposed to do. So the configuration is pretty simple, that this side is my 10 subnet. So this computer is going to dynamically receive the IP from this firewall, because this firewall can act as a DHCP server as well. I will be showing you the configuration, what I have done. So this client is getting an IP from this firewall, okay, where we have configured this firewall as a DHCP server. On the other end, we have this server, which is basically currently I have just created one router with this subnet, 30 subnet. Okay, so I have not mentioned here. Let me just mention that. So the network, which is the server, is lying or is on 30 subnet. And here my management network is on 192.168. So I'll just go into my PC. I guess it's open. Yes, it's open. So from your management PC, you will be going and accessing the firewall. So when you say, you will simply get into 192.168.100.1. That is my firewall's management IP, guys. The IP which you see here. So that is something which I have configured through the CLI. So the IP which you have given to your management IP, you can decide whichever subnet you want. Currently, the IP which I have given and I'm accessing it is 192.168.100.1. Okay. So now let me zoom in and we can then navigate through all of this clearly. Okay. Fine. So you see a lot of things in the tabs. Okay, you have dashboard, you have this application command control, you have policies, and a lot of things are there. And on the left side, again, multiple things are there. So coming towards the dashboard. So this gives me understanding about my system. System information, like what is my device name, what IP I have configured, the net mask, what is the core I have kept, and the version. Somebody asked me the PanOS version, so which version currently we are on, and the system logs, who has logged in, when they have logged in, all those information we can see here, as well as we can see some information about our resources like management, CPU, and data plane CPU, because that is also very much critical when we are trying to create our topologies, depending on the amount of traffic which is going through. So this becomes the general information on the dashboard, and you can add more such, widgets to get some overview information about your device. And this is the risk factor, which can tell you like what kind of traffic, risk factors are involved here. So maybe we will see this one later. Now coming to the policies, because this is our major concern on firewall. Without policies, we have nothing. So let me just navigate to that tab. Here we are. So on the left-hand side, as soon as you will get into the policies tab, on the left-hand side, you will see what all policies you can define on this firewall. You can have security policy, which is by default, which you need to define. Then you will be learning NAT, so we can define NAT policy. We can do policy-based forwarding. Okay, decryption policy, authentication policy. So there are a lot of policies which we can create. Security is very important, major policy, which we will be defining it for anything which we are going to configure. If you're playing with SSL, then we will see whether you have created a policy, whether you want to decrypt the traffic. Because if you say that you are currently most of our traffic, which when we visit on the any of the website, we know that we have these HTTPS. So that means any user moving in from any direction, his traffic will be encrypted. And in that encrypted traffic, if somebody is carrying some kind of a Trojan or a worm or any kind of, virus, malware, how would we know? How would we know if somebody is having an intention to do some attack in terms of they have encrypted the application layer traffic? That is what when we say HTTPS, that our entire traffic is encrypted. So if such kind of traffic is going up, if somebody wants to decrypt the traffic and understand, inspect, because after decrypting only you can do the inspection. And when we say inspection, every firewall which you will be learning, the different vendors what you have, they have their own set of signatures to understand, okay, this is the traffic which the user is trying to access. The firewall has to, has a capability of identifying the application as well. That is how it comes into next generation firewall. That if any traffic is going, by looking into the series of 5 to 7, 10 packets, it can understand, okay, this traffic is so and so application, RDP application is trying to access, is going to access Zoom application. So when we want to decrypt any specific traffic, we need to define the decryption policy. If we want to do some sort of inspection on the VPN tunnel side, we can go and define for that. If I want to do for, authentication, I want to define a policy where if so-and-so user is authenticating and if he's successfully authenticating with captive portal, or he's trying to do authentication through some AD server, accordingly, he should be given an access. So policies, these are the policies. So please understand the tabs first. That you have a dashboard, which I have just shown you. I have not shown you ACC. Yeah, I'll take up the question, guys. Just give me some 5 to 10 minutes. I will give you time to ask the queries. So policies, here you will come. So when it comes to security policies, somebody asked me, do we have some implicit policies on firewall? When you come to Palo Alto, you will see these two yellow colors, intrazone and interzone. This will be by default created for you. You don't need to do anything. Intrazone, by the word itself, that within the zone, if somebody is trying to move, okay, the traffic is going from A to B inside the same network, go and take the action as allowed. Okay. See, each and everything, each of these policies we will be visiting, guys, in our main lectures when we will start with. Each of these policies, what are these fields? How are we defining these fields? What all things we can define? All of these things we are going to navigate. Currently, what I'm trying to show you is the security policy where the action for intrazone is by default allowed. And the action for interzone. So interzone could be any zone. What's a zone? A zone is something where you will define a name and you will keep your interfaces in that zone. So let's say a firewall has 10 interfaces. The interfaces can be physical interfaces, it can be virtual interfaces, it could be any software interfaces. So you will put those interfaces in specific zones. That let's say 1 to 5 Ethernet 1 to 5 is my inside interfaces. So let it be in inside zone. And 6 7 is my outside is connected to my internet. So let that be in outside zone. The name of the zone is up to you guys. It is not like Palo Alto says a specific name. Normally in Cisco, they have a proper inside and outside as a terminologies which they use. But in case of Palo, there is no such specific term of it. In terms of, you can define your user-friendly zone, whatever name you want to give. So interzone is if you want to move across any zone, if you don't define any policy, it will be by default denied. So A to B, you want to move, denied. A to C, you want to move, denied. B to A, you want to move, denied. Because it falls under the interzone kind of a thing. And intrazone is like within the zone A. So you have a network within the zone A. Anyone moving within the zone A, okay, go, let them allow. Don't try to block them. So if anyone is moving on the LAN network, don't try to block them. They are in one zone. And if you want to define any zone, if you see, I created one zone and it falled inside on the top of the two zones. Means intra and inter is going to be the last or the default zones, you can say. So if I'm going to, not zones, I should say, policies. If you define 10 policies, the first 10 policies will come and then this intrazone and interzone policy will fall up. So that's a default one. By default, you can't even delete this. It's a default one. Anything you will create will fall at the top. So the position matters. See, if the position was not right, my in to out would, if it comes at the last or the third position, then definitely this will take into picture. It's a precedence level, guys. The first come first. Whichever rules satisfied first, firewall is not going to look any rules below that. If you have mentioned A to B has to be allowed, in the next statement, if you say A to B has to be denied, it will not go in and check the next statement. It will always check the first statement first. First policy first. So here when I have created one policy in to out, let me just expand that and show you. Okay, I'll just click on it. It will open. So here I have given one name to the policy. I can give any name I want. What is this rule type, etc., etc. We will learn this. Then you have the tab for the source, where you can select the source. And you can define here the source zone, the source address, the source user, the source device. So see, so many facilities, capabilities you have got. Initially, you were able to only block the people only with the help of source IP or maybe the source, zone. Now you got the capacity that you can define, you can identify if there is any user coming out from this source, then you can define here that only give access to that user or only give access to a Windows machine or an Linux machine or a Mac machine or an Android phone or an iPhone. Likewise, we can even define the Mac device here. So that is how it stands different in terms of next generation firewall. That you have a lot of things where you can take a control. So it's a pure control. In simple terms, it's a pure control on the traffic based on various parameters. Okay. Same thing goes with the destination, guys. Okay, let me just click here. Okay. So I'll click on the destination. So on the destination side, again, the same thing you may have destination zone, destination network, destination device, applications. You have n number of applications which you can define here. You want to allow RDP, you want to allow a specific Gmail, you want to allow Microsoft Outlook, whatever. You can define even these applications. So much of granularity you can add on to the policies, guys. Okay. And post that, you can log all these things that if any traffic is, yeah, this is the action place where you will come into the action and select the action as allow, deny, and you can then see whether those rules are getting executed properly or not, because that is our main goal, that whatever we define on the firewall side, that execution should happen properly. That I have said denied, is my firewall acting properly or not? If it is denied, is it denying correctly or not? And there comes the point of troubleshooting. If somebody comes and tells me as a TAC engineer that, a ticket got opened and somebody says that, I have defined this policy, but I don't see this policy getting executed. So yes, there may be something that you might have not defined properly, or there might be some policy which you might have kept at the top and that is getting executed. So you need to troubleshoot that way. So here comes the action. Here comes the logging side. When somebody asks me, can we log, well, whatever traffic is going through, I want to go and check that, okay, so and so traffic was allowed. Is that particular activity being logged somewhere? Can I see somewhere? Yes, I can see there. And that is inside the monitor tab. So inside the monitor tab, when I go, I can see a set of different logs. I can see the traffic logs. I can see the threat logs if I've created. So all these logs, it helps me differentiate. I don't need to go and just, see all the logs at one page. If I want to see some logs which is related to user ID, that means I have blocked a specific user or allowed a specific user, that log will come into the user ID logs. If I have kept a specific URL to be blocked or allowed, I can come and see the URL filtering logs. Specifically, if any traffic and allowing or anything will come inside the traffic log. Then we were talking about the TCP dump. Yes, we can take that in packet capture and we can see. If somebody says, the traffic is not going through the firewall only, first I should see whether the traffic is hitting on the firewall or not. So I can go and do the packet capture on that interface. So multiple things are there, guys, to explore. And it's a very, very wonderful one. I can say that you will enjoy all these sessions when we will go and create those topologies. So I can see if this policy is getting executed or not, even with this means. Like if I scroll towards the right hand side, I can just see whether this particular policies were hit. What is the hit count? When was the first it got hit and when was the last it got hit? So that helps me say, if somebody comes and tell me, as a tech engineer or somebody like I don't see this policy getting executed, or so I can go and simply go and navigate. Okay, let me see whether any hit count has come on that particular policy. When was it hit? Is it getting executed or not? So a lot of ways to verify your rules are getting properly executed on. So I can go on and on, but let me just keep it simple here. If you have any doubts so far, guys, please let me know. As of now, till here, are we all finding it interesting?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is how you create one policy. Like for that, I need to create zones. I need to put those devices interfaces. I've not shown you the interfaces of the network firewall. So how do I see the interfaces? See, initial few days, you may find it difficult to navigate and understand which particular tab has what things. But if you go by logical means, so I know that if I want to go about routing, zones, interfaces, they're all a part of network. So I can simply click on network and I can go and come and check out all the interfaces of my firewall. So currently this firewall has Ethernet 1 to 8, 1 gigabit fast Ethernet, we can say. Okay. So it has Ethernet, it has VLAN interface, it has loopback interface, it has tunnel interface. So all form of interfaces you have. So whatever IP you want to define, anything, you just need to go and click on it. And you can keep starting, keep defining the things. So interface types, we will be learning it later, that, the firewall can also act like a layer 2 interface. It can behave like a switch. Because sometimes I just want my firewall to act like a device where it will just try to simply tap the traffic, monitor the traffic. Okay, it may not execute it. It may passively listen to the traffic like a sniffer and try to see, I bought a new firewall from a vendor and I want to see, this firewall is capable of doing things properly or not. I would not put it directly in the production environment. I will try to first create some rules and I will put it in passively into my network without disturbing my network. And we'll try to see whether these things are well taken up by my firewall or not. So before you place the firewall into the production, you may do some testing by keeping it in a layer 2 interface or a tap interface. There are multiple interfaces on the firewalls. If you keep it in the tap interface or a virtual wire interface, you're not disturbing the other networks. Because when you want to introduce anything in your network, you have to keep in mind the IP addressing, the subnet, everything, etc. So if you don't want to disturb your network and you still want to introduce the firewall and check out the functionality, the execution, you can keep it that firewall in tap interface mode, rewire mode, etc. If you do keep it in layer 2 mode, then it will behave like a switch. The firewall can act as a switch. Okay, so maybe some ports you may want to keep it as a layer 2 ports. If you keep it as a layer 3 port, it will behave purely as a layer 3 functionality. So as a layer 3 functionality, what all things we know? We know that it should be having IP, it can support IP addressing, it can support routing, it can do all those L3 functionality features. So we can define the interface. So we will be learning in detail the different types of interfaces. And then the routing part, we will have to say which zone this interface belongs to. I cannot have one interface in multiple zones. You cannot say 1/1 will be a part of 2 zones. No, not at all possible. Okay. I can have more interfaces in one zone. I can have internet 1/1, 1/2, 1/3, etc. in all one zone. But I cannot have one interface in multiple zones. So that zone you can create here. You can give IPv4 addressing on this side. You can give IPv6 addressing. If you want to have a dynamic IP, you can keep it in dynamic. You can configure some advanced things like MTU you can set. Whether you want to allow somebody pinging on that interface or somebody trying to do telnet on that interface, are you okay with it? Then you need to create this management profile for that. So there are a lot of things, each and every tab, each and everything we are going to explore in the main session, guys. So I will leave the session currently for the Q&A. If you have any queries to ask for, you can please go ahead. And many details are coming up in line when we will start the sessions.
So
Yeah,
you will
guys.
be starting Palo Alto or you will be starting the AST?
I will be starting with the Palo first.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. I mean, you can find the details in the course website also. And we have a team, Sajid, who will be coming up. And he will be taking up all your other queries related to when this full-fledged thing will start. And yeah, I mean, all the other course details related to that, we'll have a team member who would introduce you with all those things. Any other technical question, guys, you have?
Yeah, Palo Alto supports NAT64.
Yes.
So for that, we required any DNS 64 server additionally with firewall, or the firewall have inbuilt facility to convert full-time A to A entry.
Yes, yes. I will come to that, like when we will get into it. Okay. But it has a support.
Okay. And can we implement any API with Palo Alto firewall to switch WAN interface after particular time, WAN IP after a particular time frame, like 10 minutes, 10 minutes?
The API for what kind of a thing you said?
To switch the WAN IP after a
Oh,
particular
okay.
period. Suppose
Okay. I don't have a very correct specific answer to this, but there should be some provision to do that. So you mean to say for a dual ISP thing, right?
no, a single ISP, but we have like
WAN.
256 WAN IP pool with us.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
There is
at a time,
one option, I think, Sangeet, SD-WAN.
SD-WAN is an option there, but I guess he's asking for some API calls which we can make it or not.
like when we search that what is my IP, it shows our WAN IP. So that
Mm-hmm.
which after a particular time frame, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, if we have multiple,
Kind of. Okay. I understood. You mean to run a script for some deployment and try to check out for different IPs.
yes,
Yes, you can do that.
okay.
Like most of the firewalls, next generation firewalls, they do support this continuous deployment via some scripts where you can go and trigger those scripts and it can modify those IPs.
Okay. So is it possible to IPv6?
IPv6, yeah, it should be possible, but I frankly don't have an idea on this currently. I will be very honest on that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I need to check out and I can get back to you.
Yeah.
Any other questions, guys? So please go through the things, modules and everything, what all things we are going to cover on this time, because Palo is really very, very in deep. Like if you go through the PCNC and all those things, it's really very, very deep dive to take ahead with. So within the given scope which we have and the kind of topics which we will be covering, maybe we will not be going to that level of depth, but what is required from your intermediate level of understanding the firewall, those things we all will be taking up. The packet flow and everything. So those things will come up in the sessions when we will be learning. And every firewall has a different way of taking up, there is common way of understanding the packet flow, but they have different terminologies inside, different components inside as per their architecture to know how the packet flows from in to out completely.
And Sangeeta, on troubleshooting side, would we be learning packet capturing in detail?
Yes. All the tools
Like,
which we have it,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
the packet captures, the counters, what we can take up, because these are the ways, the basic flow, basic and all those things.
Yeah, like
So
in Palo Alto, we have got stages like firewall, transmit, drop, and receive.
yes. We will be
And then
taking
to
up that.
stitch through all those stages. That's all good.
Yeah. Apart
Yeah.
from the
Okay.
packet captures, we will be also seeing the counters, because there are global counters to
Yes.
ensure what kind of things are getting, because when we troubleshoot global counters, the packet captures, the flow basic things, these are all very, very helpful. And based on what
Yes.
kind of configuration you are doing, we can go and check those daemon logs for more specific information.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So I guess if we have no more questions, I will leave up to the. Are you there, Sajid?
Yeah.
So I guess you can take over from here, right?
Sure.
Okay. So then, thank you guys for joining, and Sajid will answer and brief you about the course details and everything. So you can ask the relevant things to him. So I look forward for you all to join, and we'll have a great session there. Thank
Hello,
you.
everyone. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Hi, Sajid this side, your student relationship manager and the counselor. So basically, I'm here to give you details regarding the course, access, materials, and how the course will be designed, what all the topics, and in brief all the details regarding the course enrollment I am here to give you. So basically let me share you the course template here. So here we are going to like cover course syllabus and class schedules. So as you can see here, so this will be the Firewall Mastery 5-in-1 combo. Okay, so here we are going to cover total 4 firewalls and one load balancer will be there. So basically like you can start with the Palo Alto. Here we are going to cover PCNSA, PCNSE and Panorama from like basic to expert level we are going to cover here. So end to end we are going to cover like you can say 0 to 0. All the papers we are going to cover. The next will be the Fortigate. Here we are going to cover NAC 4 paper as well as NAC 7 as per the blueprint and all. So we are going to cover. Next will be the Cisco ASA FTD. Here all firepower and ASA Cisco things will be covered for the firewall point of view. Okay. So next will be the checkpoint. Then next will be the F5 LTM load balancer will be there. Okay, so this will be designed in 5 combo, like it will be going by one module. So once the Palo Alto is completed, then we will move forward for either Fortigate, either Cisco ASA FTD and TEM schedules according to the trainer's availability and all. So it may after Palo Alto we can take ASA or we can take checkpoint. So just for mentioning things, I have mentioned here one by one. So it may be Palo Alto checkpoint, then Cisco ASA FTD. All over it will cover all 5 modules. Okay, so next will be the class schedules. So here this will be going to be a weekend batch, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, so yeah, sorry, let me like this will be the 8:30 AM to 10:30 AM IST. Okay, so the timings will be like this. So on Saturday, Sunday, this will be going to be a weekend batch, and 2 days on weekends. Saturday, Sunday, 8:30 AM to 10:30 AM. 2 hours of session will be there every Saturday, Sunday till the 5 to 6 months. So total course duration will be around 5 to 6 months it will take. In case the modules will be covered one by one. So it overall comes in 5 to 6 months. Okay, so next slide will be for course enrollment access details, like what all materials you'll be getting once you are going to enroll for this course. Okay, so here access what we are providing is like you'll be getting the recording access for lifetime. Let's say what you are attending the live class, that recordings you are getting on the portal, on our web portal, so that in future if you want to go through the videos, if you want to practice something, it may be like while preparing for some interviews and anything it may be, for recalling things. So this will remains with you for lifetime access, your class recordings which you have attended. So secondly, we'll be providing you the remote lab access for 24/7 unlimited. For like for each module you will be getting it for 3 months. Let's say for Palo Alto 3 months you will be getting. For Palo Alto 3 months you will get lab access for 24/7 till its 3 months. Next, for Fortigate you will get the same as 3 months of lab access for 24/7. Then Cisco ASA FTD 3 months of lab access for 3 months. Like for 5 all modules you will be getting the 3 months of lab access 24/7 unlimited. Then next you will be getting the workbooks, PPTs, PDFs, like step-by-step lab manuals you will be getting. So all the like you can easily execute the labs while practicing by referring the workbooks. So accordingly that will be a helpful so to learning the technologies. So here you can download and you can keep it with you as well. Okay, so this will be a downloadable material. So our trainer will be also providing updated materials, updated contents which we he or she is going to cover. So next we'll be providing you the home lab setup. So here like the thing is we'll be providing you the home lab setup. So if you guys have the good configuration of your system, then we will help you out to set up a home lab, so that once you are done with your remote lab access, further if you want to practice the labs, in that case you can just request us for the home lab setup. So the files will be provided from our team, so you can download and you can just let us know. One of our team member will connect with you and he will do the setup on your personal laptop. After that if you start accessing that lab, so that will remains with you for lifetime access on your system itself till you have on system. Okay, so this will be a beneficial thing, this will be a beneficial thing. So all the things what we are providing here, and we'll be providing you the 24/7 backend support from our network journey team. Like if you are facing any issues, any queries regarding to the labs, if you're stuck somewhere while practicing, if you are not able to move forward, or like if you are facing any issues in web portals, or do you have any doubts related to course, or if you have anything to be certain topics issues, so you might have not got clearly while trainer is teaching in class. In that case, anything it may be, you just need to raise a ticket on our support DL. One of our team member will connect with you and he will resolve your issues accordingly in meantime. Okay, so this will be the course access and materials, so which we are going to provide you. Yeah, actually like I'm done with details, and anything questions on this point of view, so I'm there to answer you regarding course what we are going to cover regarding these modules. If you have any doubts, or regarding access materials, so if you guys any doubts, you guys can come up, I'm there to answer you.
Sajid, you mentioned here we provide 24/7 backend support to ensure assistance is readily available whenever
Yeah.
you need it. So, is it for only the lab purpose, or if we are working guys and we face some live troubleshooting issues in live environment? So, there
Okay.
also your team is going to support, or only in lab environment only?
Yeah, that's a good question. So usually we'll be providing you support for all your things. Like let's say if you are facing any issues in your working organization, there you are not able to work on some certain topic or certain point of view. So certain issue you are not able to work on it. So in that case, if you just raise a ticket and just let us know detail regarding your issue, what you are facing, or challenges what you are facing, so one of our expert will connect with you and he will guide you exactly what need to be done, and what need to be configured accordingly as per your issue. Our trainers will give you the solution, so accordingly you can work on it. So all over we'll be looking all your issues.
Okay, so for that ticket, is there any SLA, or you will provide support as per the technician availability and something like that?
No, our multiple team members will be there, so you just need to raise a ticket on our support DL. Like we have our support email, support@networkjourney.com. So from there we will if you just raise a email through, then our team member will execute that one, so they will forward it to exact right person who can look it out that issue. So they'll be reaching out accordingly with your confirmation.
So if personally I enroll for that course, so how many tickets I can generate with you?
See, there is no limit for the generation of the ticket, so we'll be providing, that's we have said, so we'll be providing it to 24/7, and we mention unlimited.
Okay, suppose if I face 10 to 15 issues daily basis, and if I'm not able to do that on my own, and I raise the ticket with you, so you guys will support for that.
Yeah, so if some basic issues were there, then one of our team members will redirect you and guide you So and so here you will get the solution for this issue, or you can go through the recording. There I have explained it. So usually our team will be there. They will look it out to your issue, and they will accordingly give you the solution. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Sajid.
Sujit, what if I have enrolled for another and I just want to complete my Palo with other chip?
Sorry, I didn't got you exactly. Can you come again? So
So I
you
have
were
enrolled. I have enrolled earlier, the
for which
previous batch with Saga
course you have enrolled?
for the Firewall Mastery.
Okay, so you have
So
enrolled
now,
for the Firewall Mastery.
and now right now the Cisco ASA is going on. So I just want to continue my Palo over here.
Yeah, you can attend, and I have shared you the phone number on the Zoom chat, so you can ping me out there. So from there,
Okay.
we will redirect you the for the exact batch
Okay.
of this
Sounds
Palo
good.
Alto.
Thank you.
Okay.
And who will be teaching the checkpoint and the F5?
So we have our other trainers like trainer Akhil and trainer Sumit. So they will be taking the 2 modules of checkpoint and Fortigate. Remaining will be taken by the Saga. So
Okay,
F5
got it.
LTM, Cisco ASA FTD. So guys, here I'm showing you our lab topology. So can you see my screen? What do you guys can see my screen? Once again. See guys, this will be your Palo Alto lab topology. So where the trainer will be delivering the training on. So here huge topology is there, all the networks, and according to the your covering perspective of PCNSA, PCNSE, and all the labs will be done here, and our trainer will be giving you new material as well. So like with new lab topology also we will be providing you. So I just thought to just show you guys this lab. So where we are going to take your lab scenarios according to your course content and all this things. Okay. And did you guys got the all the details regarding this firewall mastery like on our course voucher here? If you guys will be for all your firewall mastery, you will get all the details here. So I will do one thing, I will share it in chats, so anyone want to go through it clearly, they can go through here. So basically here we'll be covering firewall mastery 5-in-1 combo training. So the 75 hours of online instructor led training will be there, and latest updated contents you will be getting. The trainers who are going to teach, they will be 13 to max like experienced professionals will be there, will be delivering the training. And in case if you are facing any issues and any case, personally also we will conduct one-to-one meeting. So in case you can say it as KT sessions or problem solving sessions, you can say. And 100% passing scores in case if you're like planning for certification. So from this training you can easily work, and you can attain the certification exam. And this will be the like according to overall access you'll be getting it. So previously will be total 6 months access will be there. Now we are extended, and we are providing 3 months each lab access for all modules. And reading materials, notes, all the workbook, as I said, will be providing it. So here also the course names are present. So balance rate, sir. So checkpoint will be also there, and Fortigate will be also there. So accordingly, one by one, we are going to take this course. Okay. So here all the details will be there. So if I go through it, so it will be going to take much time. So this will be online instructor-led training. and firewall modules if you want here, so you can go through here. So you'll be getting the like PDF contents where step by step what all topics we are going to cover in dedicated module. So you'll get all the details and services, and you have the option of multiple retake as well. So in case if you missed out any class or any modules, so due to any personal reasons, anything it may be, so in time of 1 year of time lapse, so you can retake that module, and that will be for free of cost. Okay, and you'll be getting 24/7 support, and you'll be getting lifetime access for your recordings, study materials, and all. See here, our all the labs are present. So usually for Palo Alto, I have shown you. For Palo Alto, for Cisco ASA FTD, this will be the lab topology. Then this will be for our F5 LTM load balancer, and this will be for our checkpoint training, and this will be for our Cisco ASA FTD. And here you will get all the curriculums for the syllabus for all the 5 modules. So if you click here, so it will take to here. So here you can just open the pop-up, and you can take it. Here all the steps will be mentioned. So what all the things and what all the step-by-step topics will be covered. Okay. So if you guys go through it, you will get an exact idea how the course is designed, what all things we are going to cover in exact each module. Okay. All the 5 things are mentioned. So we have our one more bonus topology. So if you guys are going to enroll for this one, so we'll be providing it from our backend, and we will provide you the course completion certificate as well. So once you complete this course, if you guys have any doubts, anything for acceleration, anything it may be, you can reach us on these numbers and this email ID of any inquiry of any course, anything it may be. So guys, thank you for listening me. I am done from my end. I have given you all the details. So if you guys have any doubts or any queries, you can let me know. So I'm there to answer you, and then we can wrap up this meeting for today.